Chicago Sky rookie forward Angel Reese was ejected from the game last night against the New York Liberty after drawing consecutive technical fouls. The ejection happened after Reese was called for her fifth foul and was, quote, disrespectfully addressing, end quote, official Charles Watson. Reese made it clear that fans are watching women's basketball not because of, quote, one player, but because of her as well. Today, the WNBA rescinded the second technical upon further review, according to a league source, which does not mean much at this point in my estimation. Angel Reese is a rising star in the WNBA, drafted 7th overall by the Sky 2 months ago. On Monday, Reese addressed the media following that controversial technical foul on her teammate, Kennedy Carter, who shoved Caitlin Clark.
Stephen A. Smith just called Angel Reese America's next jealous teammate, and it's not just trash talk. Behind that jab is a $100,000 question. How much has she really lost in sponsorship since the clipboard slap, the full F-bomb tirades, and that viral "pissing me off" tweet? This isn't just about one bad game, it's about a career that could be sliding off track while Caitlin Clark is pulling in millions for the league.
And it was national news because Caitlin Clark has been taking quote-unquote abuse since she's arrived in the WNBA. That kind of story gained national attention. It was something that was debated on my day job, First Take, on ESPN every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to noon. Let me tell y'all why I'm bringing this up. Over the last few days, the Caitlin Clark situation where Kennedy Carter side hipped her, basically checked her with a, side hip move and whatever, knocking her to the ground. And in the process of talking about that particular subject, one of the things that I highlighted was that Caitlin Clark's the golden goose. She happens to be a terrific talent who's white and
in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why Stephen A.'s warning might be the harsh reality no one wanted to hear. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
But what I was saying was, although whether it's jealousy, envy, resentment, it's all justifiable because there were people that were pounding the pavement and going through so much to help elevate the WNBA's profile long before Caitlin Clark ever came along. The combination of the two things make her the golden goose for the WNBA. Go after her, compete with her, get the better of her at every turn. Nobody's questioning that you can't go after her. And yet, we're denied that level of recognition and that level of appreciation. The bottom line is, since Caitlin Clark is the one here now, ride the wave. Rising tide lifts all boats, as they say.
Have you ever seen one play, one moment, completely shift how a player is seen by fans and brands? That's exactly what just happened to Angel Reese, and the timing couldn't be worse for her career. She came into the league as a top rookie pick with the kind of momentum most players dream about. Her social media following was huge, she had a list of brands ready to work with her, and the narrative around her was fresh, exciting, and marketable. For a team like the Sky, she was more than a player, she was a personality who could help bring in attention and sponsors.
The reality is that the max contract in the WNBA at this particular moment in time is $250,000 to a player. Caitlin Clark is already committed to $28 million in endorsement deals, at least. And that was the argument that I was making. And I was saying everybody ain't her. We ain't talking about it being fair. As my boy Jeff always says, fair is a place where they judge pigs. It doesn't exist. It's not about fairness. It's about reality. Look at the wave that she's created. Look at the profile that it has granted the WNBA. Look at the record ratings they've produced because of her arrival. Once upon a time, they were watching about their audience in Indiana for Indiana Fever games was about 4,000.
All of that was before things took a sharp turn. It started during the final minute of the Sky Mystics game. The crowd was already tense, the kind of buzz that tells you every possession matters. Reese was on the sideline, visibly frustrated, and then it happened, she smacked the clipboard right out of a coach's hand. It wasn't a slow, casual moment either. The cameras caught it instantly, the sound of the slap cutting through the noise, and within seconds clips were hitting social feeds. Before the game even ended, she followed it up with a "pissing me off" tweet. Not just a generic complaint, this was targeted frustration hitting the internet with her name on it. For casual fans, it might have looked like raw competitiveness. But for Stephen A. Smith, it was something else entirely. He branded her America's Next Jealous Teammate, which in the world of sports branding is the kiss of death. The words weren't just a dig, they framed her as someone who can't coexist with success around her.
Which was more than the WNBA had accumulated in more than 2 decades. You have all of this stuff going on. Understand, Caitlin Clark is different. We ain't talking about fairness. We're talking about business. And when Angel Reese comes out and says she ain't the only one everybody's watching, now it's at about 16 to 17,000. The ratings for the WNBA draft was 2.446 million, which was the largest in WNBA history. The doubleheader that opened the season generated over 1.5 million viewers. A day later, she gets ejected. I ask a simple question. I don't have an answer. I'm not pretending to have an answer. I'm not going to give you an answer. I'm going to ask you a simple question. If that's Caitlin Clark, does she get ejected from that game?
That's the kind of narrative that sticks, and sponsors listen when those labels get traction. In the WNBA, the push is to grow the league's image. It's not just about highlight reels, it's about personalities that bring fans in but also keep brand partners comfortable. Sponsors don't want drama that overshadows the product they're investing in. They want safe storylines, role model energy, and athletes who can be the face of a campaign without the risk of negative press. That's why the clipboard incident wasn't seen in isolation. Not long after, Reese had another moment, going full F-bomb on a referee in a heated exchange that was impossible to miss on the broadcast. When you put that next to the earlier blow-up, it stopped looking like a one-off and started to feel like a pattern. Patterns matter in sponsorship. If a player can be counted on for unpredictable outbursts, brands quietly back away. They don't have to make a big announcement, they can just decide to redirect their campaigns toward other players. One cancelled shoot here, one paused negotiation there, and suddenly your yearly endorsements take a big hit. For Reese, industry insiders suggest that figure could climb into 6 figures if the backlash keeps piling up. That's not just a paycheck lost. It's a drop in long-term value because once your name is tied to too risky, it's hard to shake. And here's the thing, it's not just her personal brand taking the hit. The Sky benefit from having players who are marketable on and off the court. When one of their headliners starts to look volatile, that perception touches the whole franchise. Potential team sponsorships can take a pause, merchandise pushes slow down, and suddenly the marketing team has to rethink their strategy. This is why Stephen A. wasn't just talking about attitude. He was pointing to a real financial repercussion that goes beyond the box score. The public persona is part of the game now, and missteps can snowball faster than ever with cameras and phones catching everything in real time. Every action during games is magnified, every word on social media is scrutinized, and when those two collide in a way that feeds controversy, the fallout is immediate. Other players in the league have faced moments of criticism and managed to flip the narrative. They've shown a path where intense competitiveness doesn't spill into ongoing drama. That path exists right now, and one WNBA star in particular is proving that it works. Her approach is